The Chancellor's office was silent, too silent. Lightning flashed beyond the tall windows as Anakin Skywalker stood before Darth Sidious, the mask finally torn from the man he once trusted. "Only through me can you save Padmé," Sidious whispered, his voice dripping with promise and poison. But this time, Anakin's hand didn't waver. Memories of Obi-Wan's words echoed in his mind. "You are my brother, Anakin. Don't let fear guide you." The words anchored him, cutting to the fog of desperation that had clouded his judgment for months. Sidious struck first, his crimson blade igniting the room in firelight. But Anakin's blue saber met it instantly, the clash sending sparks across the polished floor. The duel was brief, furious, and decisive. Anakin fought not for power, but for truth. With a final surge of will, he disarmed the Sith Lord and held his blade steady at Sidious' throat. "The Jedi will decide your fate," he said, his voice trembling but firm. Mace Windu, battered yet alive, rose behind him, astonishment in his eyes. Together, they ended Sidious' reign before it began. Outside, the galaxy trembled. Without the Emperor's command, Order 66 never came. Clones waited confused. The Republic Senate fractured, unsure who held true power now that their Chancellor was revealed as the enemy. Anakin looked out the window toward the endless city below. The dawn was breaking, but his heart felt heavier than ever. He had saved a galaxy, yes, but Padmé's fate was still uncertain. And somewhere far away, Obi-Wan Kenobi would soon feel a disturbance, one that would pull them both toward the next great battle for soul of the Republic. The war wasn't over. It had just begun. Night fell heavy over Coruscant. Thunder rolled to the skyline as Jedi gunships descended upon the Senate district. Inside one of them stood Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, shoulder to shoulder for the first time since the war began. No anger, no betrayal, only purpose. "This ends tonight," Obi-Wan said quietly. Anakin nodded. "Together, Master." They entered the Senate chambers under fire. Red bolts cracked across the Grand Hall as Sidious' loyal guards fell one by one. The Emperor awaited them in the center, cloak drawn, eyes burning with hate. "So," he hissed, "the Jedi come to claim power for themselves." Sidious unleashed a storm of Force lightning, hurling both Jedi back. But they rose again, Obi-Wan deflecting, Anakin pressing forward with the rage of 1,000 battles. The duel erupted in chaos, blades flashing across the shattered Senate floor. Anakin's speed matched Sidious' fury, while Obi-Wan struck with calm precision. Together, they were unstoppable. Every strike, every counter, years of brotherhood reborn in battle. But Sidious was no ordinary foe. His power darkened the air, twisting reality around him. "You cannot kill me," he roared. "I am the Senate." Anakin's eyes flared. "Then the Senate dies with you." He drove forward, breaking Sidious' defense, his blade locking against crimson light. With a burst of strength, both Jedi forced the Sith Lord to his knees. But as Sidious fell, his last act was not surrender. It was command. A hidden signal pulsed across the galaxy. Clone troopers everywhere froze, then received a new order. Pause. Obi-Wan turned to Anakin, dread washing over his face. "What have we done?" The Emperor was beaten, yet his final trap had just begun. The Senate building shook as thunder rolled across Coruscant's skyline. Flames and smoke filled the Grand Chamber. Darth Sidious rose from the wreckage, his eyes glowing like molten fire. The once calm Chancellor was gone, only the Dark Lord remained. "Did you think you could defeat me?" he snarled, raising both hands. Blue lightning exploded outward, ripping through the air. Anakin and Obi-Wan barely blocked it, their sabers crackling against a storm of pure hatred. Then the doors burst open. Masters Yoda, Windu, and Plo Koon entered through the smoke. There, blades igniting in unison. For the first time in generations, the Jedi fought as one. Sidious laughed, his voice echoing like thunder. "Fools, you face the true power of the dark side." The Senate rotunda erupted in chaos. Chairs and debris tore from the walls as the Emperor hurled everything with the Force. Yoda leapt high, deflecting each strike, while Obi-Wan and Windu closed in from opposite sides. Anakin charged headfirst, breaking through the storm, his blades striking against Sidious with relentless fury. Each swing carried years of pain and betrayal. His fear for Padmé, his rage against the lies that had torn his life apart. The dark and light sides collided in a storm that shook the city below. Lightning burst through shattered windows, illuminating the skyline. For a moment, it seemed the Jedi might prevail, but Sidious smiled through the chaos, his face twisted in madness. Then perish all of you. He unleashed a final surge, so strong it shattered the floor beneath them. The chamber collapsed. Light vanished into shadow. When the dust settled, the Emperor was gone, his laughter echoing through the ruins. And the Jedi knew the war was far from over. Smoke still rose from the ruins of the Senate chamber. Word of the Emperor's defeat spread across Coruscant like wildfire. What was once the proud heart of the Republic had become a battlefield of politics and panic. Without Sidious to control them, the Senate broke into factions overnight. Some demanded immediate martial law. Others called for peace and reform. Holoscreens across the galaxy flickered with confusion. No one knew who ruled anymore. Bail Organa and Mon Mothma tried to restore order, but fear spread faster than reason. The Republic must hold together, Bail urged, but even his voice was drowned out by the roar of chaos outside. Protesters flooded the plazas, demanding truth, demanding justice, demanding blood. And then came the clones. Millions of soldiers, bred for loyalty to the Chancellor, now stood leaderless. Their command signals were silent. Entire fleets drifted in orbit, waiting for orders that would never come. Some generals followed the Jedi. Others turned to the highest bidder. Coruscant became a city under siege, not from invaders, but from itself. Security droids malfunctioned. The Senate Guard fractured, and fires burned in the lower districts. The once golden capital of democracy now looked more like a war zone. Obi-Wan stood on the balcony of the Jedi Temple, staring at the skyline. "We saved the galaxy from Sith," he said quietly. "But can we save it from itself?" Anakin said nothing. His eyes followed the distant flashes of battle below. He could feel the anger, the fear, the endless tide of unrest building across the Force. For the first time, the Chosen One wondered the darkness hadn't been defeated, only released. The Republic was dying, and something far worse was about to take its place. The sound of blaster fire echoed across Coruscant's lower levels. The clone army, once the Republic's most unified force, had turned on itself, without the Emperor's voice to guide their programming. Confusion spread through the ranks. The last command transmitted through the inhibitor chips was incomplete, a half-formed order garbled by Sidious' sudden fall. Some troopers received the signal to eliminate all Jedi. Others heard nothing at all. In the chaos, loyalty became personal. The 501st followed Anakin Skywalker, refusing to fire on the Jedi they'd fought beside for years. But the 212th under Commander Cody, still bound by partial command codes, saw the Jedi as traitors. Entire fleets began to fracture, each choosing a side in the growing divide. "Sir, we're fighting ourselves," Rex said bitterly, staring at the holomap. Blue and red symbols blinked across the galaxy. Clones killing clones. If we keep this up, there won't be a Republic left to save. Anakin's jaw tightened. Then we stop it, whatever it takes. The Jedi Council scrambled to keep order, but the galaxy was slipping away. Kamino's cloning facilities fell under siege. Some Jedi wanted to destroy them, to end the war at its source. Others, like Obi-Wan, believed they could still save the soldiers they once called brothers. Soon, battles erupted from the core worlds to the outer rim. Coruscant burned, Kamino flooded with civil war, and the Republic's fleet shattered into fragments. The galaxy that had once stood united under the Jedi's protection now bled from within. As Anakin and Obi-Wan prepared to face their own clone brothers in battle, a new shadow began to stir in the unknown regions, one drawn by the power vacuum the Sith had left behind. The rain fell hard on Kamino's metal platforms. Lightning flashed across the stormy sky as blaster fire lit the darkness. The clones had turned on each other, blue armor against orange, brother against brother. In the center of it all, two Jedi fought to end the madness. Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi moved like echoes of war. Perfect balance, master and apprentice once again. But as the storm raged, tragedy struck. A squad of rogue troopers ambushed from above, catching Obi-Wan off guard. He fell to the edge of the platform, his lightsaber spinning into the sea below. "Master," Anakin shouted. He reached for Obi-Wan with the Force, but it wasn't enough. The troopers closed in, blasters raised. And in that moment, fear took hold. Anakin's anger exploded outward. The air itself seemed to bend. His eyes burned, the thunder roaring with his fury. He reached deep into the dark side, not for power, but for revenge. The troopers screamed as they were lifted into the air, crushed by an unseen force. Armor cracked, blasters shattered. When it was over, the rain fell silent again. Obi-Wan pulled himself up, shaken. "Anakin, what have you done?" Anakin stood still, breathing heavy, eyes fixed on the fallen soldiers. "I saved you," he said coldly. "I did what I had to." But Obi-Wan could feel it, the darkness clinging to him, stronger than ever. The line between hero and monster had blurred. That night, as the storm faded, Anakin stood alone on the platform, staring into the endless ocean. The lightning reflected in his eyes, not blue, but faintly yellow. He had saved Obi-Wan. But in doing so, Anakin Skywalker had taken one step closer to the very destiny he once swore to destroy. Coruscant was no longer the shining city Yoda remembered. Smoke rose from its towers, and the once golden Senate dome lay shattered. When his small transport landed at the edge of the ruined temple, even the Force itself felt colder. He had left to find balance, but what he sensed now was chaos. The Jedi Order, broken, weary, and lost. As he walked to the temple halls, once filled with younglings and laughter, the silence was haunting. Statues were toppled, archives burned, and the Force scarred. Obi-Wan was the first to greet him. He bowed deeply, his eyes heavy with failure. "Master Yoda," he said quietly, "we tried to rebuild, but the Jedi, they've turned against each other." Yoda closed his eyes. "Failed, we have. Learned nothing, we did." Anakin entered moments later, his presence burning in the Force. Powerful, conflicted, dangerous. "The galaxy doesn't need more Jedi councils," he said. "It needs action." Yoda turned to him, his gaze sharp. "Action without balance," the DarkSide whisper, that is. The words hit Anakin harder than any blow. He turned away, fists clenched, the storm inside him barely contained. As Yoda convened the surviving masters, the truth became clear. The Order had fractured not from battle, but from within. Jedi now commanded fleets, ruled sectors, and justified war in the name of peace. The light had dimmed, and only one question remained. Could it ever return? Outside, the skyline burned orange with rebellion. Distant thunder echoed across the city. Yoda looked toward the horizon, his voice heavy with sorrow. Darkness once defeated, rising again it is, and this time from the Jedi themselves it comes. The Force trembled, because the final war for the soul of the Order was about to begin. Months passed since the fires of Coruscant dimmed. The war was over. The Jedi, though broken, stood once again as protectors, not warriors. Mon Mothma's voice echoed through the new Senate chamber, her words filled with hope. "Today we begin again. A republic of peace, not fear." Crowds cheered across the stars. Systems once divided by war pledged allegiance to the new republic. The clones who survived were freed, their programming purged, their destiny their own. And for the first time in years, the galaxy seemed united. Yet in the shadows of the celebration, Anakin Skywalker stood apart, his face calm, but his eyes distant. Every victory felt hollow, every peace temporary. The people called him the hero of the Republic, but he could still hear the voice of Sidious whispering in his mind. "You think balance can last? You are the balance, Anakin, and balance always breaks." Night after night, he dreamed of fire, Mustafar, Padmé, power. He awoke drenched in sweat, his heart pounding, the dark side clawing at his soul. Obi-Wan sensed it too, the unrest, the fear, the anger Anakin tried to bury. "You must find peace, Anakin," Obi-Wan said softly. before peace finds you unworthy of it. But Anakin wasn't sure peace was possible. The Force was changing, stronger, more unstable. And deep within its current, he felt something stirring, something familiar. A storm gathering far beyond the unknown regions. As the New Republic celebrated its birth, Anakin gazed toward the stars. The Force whispered his name, cold and relentless. Because in the end, no matter how bright the light burned, the shadow of Darth Vader still waited to return.